So, excuse me. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you had a nice break and good lunch, and we can start this afternoon session. The GRCT was very kind to ask me to present something about the best practices related to Inspire. So I would say this presentation is more about the way to the best practices in the future and to show a little bit bigger picture about Inspire and reporting data flows. In this big picture, what we have existing system that is called Reportnet. I will present some of the general characteristics of the reporting data flows and show some of the examples how the real reporting data flows can actually connect to Inspire and how this can be beneficial for the data exchange in the future. And also I would like to present some of the challenges that will have to be answered sooner or later in the future. So, Reportnet is a system of integrated information technology tools and processes, and it is based on the active use of the World Wide Web. It has been developed in the European Environment Agency with support of the IONET partners, with specific purpose to support the European environmental reporting. This set of different software tools aims to improve the harmonization and standardization of all IONET data flows, of those who are based on legal requirements and those that are based on the voluntary agreements between the countries to provide data. And it includes detailed definition of the requested data and also the generation of the final information product. So the complete data flow, the complete business process, this is actually managed with the tools of the Reportnet. Reportnet has been developed since 2000 and has been in operational use since 2002 with a lot of changes and updates that are incorporating the modern technology development and especially the World Wide Web development. So how does it look, Reportnet? It has three basic processes that follows each other in a very sequential way, starting with data reporting, collection, data handling of the reported data, and at the end, data dissemination to different stakeholders and users. All these steps are supported by different modules, which are built, modules providing different tools to support special functionalities of the reporting data flow. If we start with the reporting obligations database, this is a database of legal instruments which require reporting obligations from countries. It provides a set of information, who has to report to whom, what are the deadlines for reporting, and also the links to the legislative instruments. In this business reporting data flow, the reporting obligation database is a sort of the legal instrumentation framework which helps the users to identify what kind of legal obligations are foreseen. If we look only into the most important models in each of these three processes, the first one is data dictionary, which defines a place or a repository which defines data sets, definitions of data elements, attributes, data types, value domains, and relationships. Speaking in the terms of Inspire, this represents a sort of the conceptual modeling of the reporting data flows. The next important repository is data repository, or called central data repository, which actually collects all the reported data from the countries, and it's also linked to other tools which allows different conversions between data formats, automatic quality assessment, and allows metadata, additional metadata definitions, which helps further in search for the content of the reporting. At the end, on the side of the data dissemination, on the output side of this business process, we can find EEA data service, which is used for storing and publishing of reported deliveries, mostly in the way of the pan-European, non-European spatial data sets and related attributes and values. So, about the business process, two main stakeholders are involved in each of the reporting obligation data flow. The first one is data requester, which means the organization to which we have to report. And the other one is on data provider, the obligation to provide the reporting data. In between these two stakeholders, there is the long process which we have seen supported by Reportnet in terms of four main processes: delivery, quality analysis, aggregation, and analysis. Especially the first two are very specific. So delivery means the delivery of data from the reporting countries, which has to be complemented with certain quality analysis that can be automatic or manual, and which can be in repetition until the data requester is satisfied with the quality of the reported data. At the end of this process, a specific statement or confirmation is generated saying that the country has successfully reported based on this reporting obligation. Additional processes like aggregation, which allows deliverables to be combined into a common data set, and additional special analysis and assessments are actually built on the top of these first two processes. So other important characteristics of the reporting data flow is confirmation, which means that it is some sort of official confirmation that the reported data are correct and that the reporting obligation is fulfilled. The reporting data flows have regular repetitions, depends on the provisions of the legislative instrument. And in a way, reporting presents a snapshot of data in certain time period, which might be a very specific case, how to link these snapshots to other databases or maybe to special objects that might change, while the reporting data sets will have to keep the link to the exact special objects that have been used in the reporting data flow. And another important issue is also to keep the history of reporting data, especially to allow time series comparisons and of environmental issues. So if we look into two examples how these reporting data flows can meet INSPIRE, first example is a common database on designated areas, which has been already presented today. In the reporting obligation, you can find information that the countries are reporting those data to the European Environment Agency, which is collecting data, and collected data are reported to the UNEP, World Conservation Monitoring Center. This participation of the protected sites spatial data is actually included in the World Database on Protected Sites, which is one of the most comprehensive spatial databases on protected areas globally. So, as a starting point, in the data dictionary specification, you can find a description of the CDDA reporting obligation. You can find description of the data model behind, and a lot of other details like code lists and attributes that has to be reported. What is the link to the INSPIRE components? The first link is to the INSPIRE protected sites, what we heard already today, which used the use case on reporting as one of the main use cases to provide the INSPIRE data specifications. So we can say that there is a very high matching between the content, between the conceptual levels of existing reporting obligation with INSPIRE protected sites. Of course, some details might be proven only in the implementation level, but at least this high-level matching exists. Moving from the conceptual side to the more technical and infrastructure level questions. So in Reportnet, all the data deliveries by countries are collected in the so-called Reportnet data repository. They might be uploaded in different data formats, in tables, in shapefiles, in different combination of spatial data and tabular data. After other processes, those data sets are aggregated and published as a common European spatial data set, which is available in the EEA data service. But at the same time, this data set has also INSPIRE metadata regulation compliant metadata, which is available at the EEA metadata catalog. So this is the next link to INSPIRE, not only data specifications, but to INSPIRE metadata and metadata catalogs. But what are the other questions that we will have soon to answer? They are more related to the technical level of the implementation, asking how this delivery will be organized in the future. Will this be provided through national SDIs or geoportals, which is a little bit more Inspire domain. Will this be delivered through web services in the future, which can be easily included as tools in the Reportnet as well? Or it will be still stored in the future as a Reportnet in the Reportnet common data repository, but then what will be the links to Inspire infrastructure? I will leave these questions open for now. It's just to raise our ideas how to implement these issues in the future. And let's see into another example related to the environmental noise directive reporting. The directive objectives is to determine exposure through noise mapping and to adopt action plans to prevent and reduce environmental noise and to preserve noise quality where it is good. Currently, the spatial data are used in E&D reporting in very different ways. They are used in modeling, in mapping, in assessment and planning. But when they are provided as the reporting data, they are provided in a very different way. Some of them are very detailed, others in a very generalized schematic way. And this is something which is not harmonized currently in the E&D reporting. So what are the expectations of the thematic community dealing with E&D reporting? Main expectations are to have better, harmonized, timely, and high-quality spatial data defined on the basis of Inspire data specifications. For example, there you can see only two examples of this interest. One, it is noise contour data and maps, and the other one is detailed data or maps related to agglomerations and quiet areas. The third point that is actually not mentioned here can benefit from the local noise restriction zones, which are now included in Inspire, in which will be additional benefit to the European Directive reporting, knowing where those restriction zones actually exist. Let's see the mapping of at the conceptual level between existing environmental noise reporting and Inspire. So this reporting obligation is focused on European Union member states. It has not only one reporting obligation, but 7 currently, and a little bit more from phase 1. It has a very diverse time frame, so in different time frames you have to provide different reporting data. In the reporting obligation database, you can see the list of all the reporting obligations, and the main content that is focused on the noise sources are related actually to the transport networks element. So let's see the links to the Inspire. Those noise sources can actually be linked to many different Inspire teams, from transport networks, buildings, environmental monitoring facilities, population distributed area management, and many others. So the level of the complexity here is a little bit higher to find out how to achieve the proper conceptual modeling and to reuse the Inspire teams for the environmental noise reporting. Another issue would be that Inspire provides the basic generic spatial data, which are very desirable to use them in E&D, but more specific extensions and thematic data will have to be developed in addition to what is currently in Inspire data specifications to fully reuse Inspire and combine this with the reporting data flow. So the complexity of conceptual level mapping is higher in this case of the reporting obligation. At the end, what kind of challenges will have to be answered, at least at those 3 levels, governance, content, and technical one? So at the governance level, it's very important to consider that there are completely different time frames related to the thematic reporting obligation and to Inspire development. That there is the need currently in the reporting data flow to have a legal confirmation that the reporting data was properly delivered and on time. It is also the question of the responsibility how the old reporting versions will be maintained if we are talking about the reusing Inspire infrastructure in specific reporting obligations. And also when we are talking about environmental data and information, we cannot forget about the size principles as well. At the content level, the questions are a little bit different. So what will be the future development of Inspire data model extensions and changes? and how this cooperation will be set up between INSPIRE and the thematic communities. This is actually one of the most important challenges to set up in the future for this development, especially because INSPIRE is focused on spatial data and generic principles, where thematic communities need much more detailed data for the reporting. Especially linking also spatial data and non-spatial data, where the basis we can find already in INSPIRE, how to reference data to spatial objects, but there are more questions how to maintain those links properly in the future. At the technical level, one big question is how to reuse INSPIRE components, not only data specifications, but practically all components that can benefit to optimize reporting obligations in the future. We are talking about metadata for spatial data, network services, other spatial data services, but also use of registers and INSPIRE conceptual model components like UML diagrams, code lists, and so on. So in a way, a technical challenge would be accepting the fact that the Reportnet is existing infrastructure for reporting data and for exchanging of data, how to link this infrastructure with INSPIRE infrastructure in the future. And also one question is availability of INSPIRE infrastructure, especially the European geoportal, the national geoportals, but also the code list registers and other elements that are quite important for the future technical implementation of INSPIRE and reporting obligations. So I would like to conclude my presentation here, and I would like to thank you also to my colleagues who helped me to prepare information and for this presentation. And if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer.